welcome everybody to KUAF's The Lunch Hour. I am Jasper Logan, and I have with me Curtis the Third and Marietta from It's a Wrap. And we're here to talk food and music. Wow. Yeah. Okay, first question for both of you. And you guys can relax. I feel like you both are.
I'm so nervous.
This is easy. This is a conversation. We're just gonna have a good conversation about the two things that y'all do. You know, food and music. I'm curious. Both of you guys have interesting names. Curtis the Third and It's a Wrap. And I'm wondering, where did those names come from? What was the inspiration behind them? So we'll start with you.
Well, It's a Wrap means, for Filipino, means it's delicious. It's a wrap. And then I made it into wrap because I make good egg rolls. Yes. That's what it came from. It's a wrap. Sarap. Delicious.
So sarap is delicious.
Delicious for Filipino, yes.
That's that's really good. It was funny. So I was telling you before, my brother-in-law, I told him about this, and he was so excited. He was like, "Man, I love that place. I used to go there when they were at Lake Fayetteville in the food truck, and now they're in the mall. I go there often. I love the barbecue skewers that y'all do.
Yes, the barbecue.
Yeah, that's his favorite thing. But he was like, man, I don't know what It's a Wrap stands for. So now I know it. Now I can tell him.
But we came up with that.
It's delicious.
Yes.
Let's go. What about Curtis the Third? Are you literally Curtis the Third?
I'm literally Curtis the
Third. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
My dad and my grandfather's same name. So, Curtis the Third.
And Curtis, you just performed. How you feel about that? Like, your show went really well, I'll say. And I feel like it was very well received by the crowd. The music was really soulful. I love the boom bap, soulful hip hop.
Yeah.
And so, how you feel about the performance?
I'm one of those people that's like my hardest critic. So, to me, I'm like, oh, it went terrible. But it's all about getting better and growing. So, I think it was fun. It went well. But yeah, I always feel like I could do better. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the music. Are you making the beats yourself, or are you collaborating with individuals?
So I do make beats. I do make my own beats, but I do collaborate with other people too. So I didn't perform anything that I made, but it was one of the homies, Victor Charlie. He made a lot of the beats, and another friend, Chris, made a lot of the beats. So
I've been learning about Victor's sound through your performance and through when you did the performance at Ground Waves, and I saw that and I was like, oh man, that beat is crazy. He's got this
he's a legend.
he's got this nice old school very pure kind of sound, and then your vocals on top of that just fit so
we
well.
mesh well. We mesh really well.
Very well. How did that relationship come about?
We actually met here in Bentonville. He reached out to me on Facebook one day when he first moved out to this area, and he was like, "You're like the only rapper that I found out here." This is way before there was a music scene. This was 2013. And he found me, and we cooked up a bunch of music and been connected ever since.
So you've been doing this for a while now?
Since I was in 8th grade.
Let's go.
Shout out my teacher, Miss Watkins. She's the one who made me believe in myself. She's the one that, made me realize I could use my voice. So I started writing poetry. And she's the one who was like, you should write poetry. And when I did, she made me read my poem to the class. And ever since then, I became an artist after that and changed my life, honestly.
That's very fitting. Literally, someone earlier said that you are more of a poet than a rapper.
Yeah.
It's there needs to be another category because you fit. It's like poetry to what you do.
Yeah, yeah. I just write about my actual life and what I actually go through.
And Marietta, I'm curious. When did you know that you wanted to open a restaurant, start a business? Did you always know that, or did it kind of
I did not know that. Yeah, actually, just people was like suggesting to me that you should open a restaurant. I said that that's so hard, like I don't like, cooking and stuff.
Would it be because like you would just be cooking for people and then
Yeah,
people
but
like, oh,
I
this is so
like to
good?
cook.
Okay.
Like, I mean, we always have party and stuff, and I cook for everybody. Yeah, and it was like, why not just make money out of this, Because I lost my job, 2019, and I thought about doing my own business. So food truck, I went to the food truck first because it's a lot cheaper. Yeah, that's what I did. And then in the mall, opened to me, and I moved to the mall.
So how long has the business been open?
The food truck been open for 3 years before I moved to the mall. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What was that mentally? What was that transition like for you of going like, all right, I'm gonna set out to actually do this? Was it hard? Was it difficult? Was it easy? Like what was some of the mental like hurdles that you went through deciding to actually do it?
Yeah, it was easier for me since I started with the food truck to the mall. Yeah, it was easier. Yeah, because I already know what to
about
do.
even before the food truck?
Before,
like going,
it was really hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. Like, especially the first week was like really, really hard for me. Yeah, but I got used to it. Yeah. And I love cooking, so I didn't even know, actually, I didn't even know that it's gonna work out. So I actually just, I'm gonna try it out. If it doesn't work, it's fine. But I did not know that it did work out, and especially I moved to the mall, so people like my food. Yeah.
I tell you, like, you're one of the first restaurants that we've had during this where I tell someone about the restaurant and they go, oh, I've been there. I love that place.
Yeah, especially with Filipino. There's not a lot of Filipino food around here. Yeah.
What has that been like, navigating, like, trying to carve out a space when there isn't a lot of, like, there aren't a lot of Filipino restaurants? Like, what has that been like in Northwest Arkansas? Trying to start a business, a particular type of business, and like, putting yourself out there, and like, what has that been like?
It was not easy because Filipino food is not really known out there, but when they try it, yeah, they'll keep coming back. They keep coming back. Yeah.
That's good. And Curtis, I'm curious, like, what was it for you when you sort of made the decision to, like, all right, I'm gonna pursue this? Like, what was that like for you? What was that moment for you where you're like, all right, I'm gonna pursue this. This isn't just writing for fun. This is like something that I actually want to pursue, actually want to do.
Well, so like I started in the 8th grade. I was writing poetry, and I think like that summer of 8th grade, when I was going into high school, I begged my parents to get me like a mic. So I got a mic, got Pro Tools, and ever since then, I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make music. But like my parents, they didn't. So my grandfather was a musician, right? He used to play in the Blackstreet band.
Curtis the First.
Yeah, Curtis the First. He was a part of Teddy Riley's band, and then he made his own music too. But like he was one of those people from the '70s that got messed out of his record deal and didn't make any money. So when I wanted to make music, they were like, it's a sketchy business. I was offered to, sign with Disney, and I wasn't allowed to. So that was one of those things that was like, I couldn't get a record deal. Like I couldn't.
Wait, but Disney offered to sign you?
Yes, I was gonna work with Disney, but my dad was like, no, it's not gonna happen again.
What were you gonna do? Can you tell us what were you gonna do?
I was gonna be a musician. I was gonna be a writer. I was gonna be an artist.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna write, but maybe even do a TV show. But it didn't work out. But it was a blessing because it taught me to own my own music. It taught me to learn the business. And so I had a TuneCore all through high school. I've had a TuneCore and always owned my masters and my publishing. So that was where it worked out. I've always owned my music. And so I guess it was a blessing in disguise. it worked out for a reason. So I'm happy how it went.
It makes sense because now, like, now I see that, like, I feel like a big part of like NFTs and like blockchain and cryptocurrency is like ownership,
Right.
and like the ability to like own something and pass that ownership on to others. And so it makes sense that like you're very passionate about those things
Yeah.
because of the ownership piece.
That's where it comes into play, definitely.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm tracking. I'm learning a lot about the two of you guys, and this is a lot of fun. Marietta, okay, I have to ask, when did you move down to? Because you're from the Philippines, right?
Correct.
You grew up in the Philippines.
I grew up in the Philippines.
Okay, and did you come straight from the Philippines to Northwest Arkansas?
No, I was actually a military dependent. So my dad was in military in Guam. He was based in Guam. So I kind of grew up there and went to high school there.
Oh wow.
Yes, and then I moved here with, when I got married with my ex, yes.
What was that like, going from like Guam to Northwest Arkansas to?
Oh gosh, like when the first time I got here, I thought like I went to like Boondock. You know what Boondock is?
To what?
Yeah, like it's like Boondock means.
Oh, Bulldog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
like lots of mountain
Ah,
trees and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, so like I didn't really like it here before, but I kind of glad that I stayed here. Yeah.
And now you've been here like 20 years?
20 years.
20
yes.
years, yeah.
20 years.
Which I'm curious, like, that probably within the last, I mean, I've been here 10 years, and I've seen it change. Northwest Arkansas, I've seen it change a bunch. And like
Yeah,
with you
a
growing up
lot
here,
of changes.
I'm sure you guys have seen the changes that I haven't even seen.
Yeah.
Like, so talk a little bit about that. Like what's one of the like biggest things that like you've seen change, maybe for the good or like, that's kind of difficult or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah, just
Okay.
a lot more buildings. I mean, the airport. I mean, when I got here, I mean, we were at the Fayetteville small airport. We came here with a really small airplane. Yeah, but now we get the big airport now.
That's
That's a big
That's crazy.
change.
That's fun. So I'm from Chicago, and so I love flying in and out of here because it's so much easier than O'Hare Airport, which is like 20 times bigger than this one. You gotta wait, and like the security line, like here is so nice. The security line, it takes like 10 minutes
10
to get
minutes.
through, and
Yes.
like then you go to a bigger city, and it's like a long time
Yeah,
coming back.
yeah.
But that's funny. That's funny. How has like? Do you feel like the growth has been good for business, and I'd say too for music? Like, how do you feel like the growth? Because Northwest Arkansas is like, I think I saw something like 30 folks are moving here a day or something like that.
Yeah, it's
like,
getting bigger.
It's the fastest growing city, right?
Yeah. So how do you feel like the growth of the area is affecting your business? Like, you feel like it's good for your business, or?
It is good for my business. I mean, I'm getting more business. Like every year, it changes myself. I mean, I get a lot of more people getting to know my food. Yeah, so I get more people here.
As it grows, do you feel like you have a good handle on how you are or can get your name out there to different
Yes.
people as it grows? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
it grows. Yeah.
How about you? How do you feel like the growth of the area is good for the music business, especially hip hop in the area?
It's way better. Like, okay, so when I was in high school, we threw our own show and like everybody came, right? But that was like the only show that, like, hip hop show that we had ever seen. And that was like, that was 2014, or it was either 2013 or 2014. But like now, when I come back, like the past couple years, ground waves, a lot more open mics, a lot more just music looks, and a lot more art. So, I mean, it's changed so much, but it's changed for the better. And I like it. I actually decided to come back here from Texas because I knew that it would be growing this fast, and I knew that it would be like a great opportunity to push the music here instead of like a bigger city. Like a lot of people are like, why would you leave Texas? And you know, that's like a better city. It's a bigger city, but to build something here from the ground up and then like build with the community is just way more important to me. I feel like it makes a lot more sense, and the music can go way farther if we push it from here. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely like seen that. Like the you wouldn't necessarily think a hip hop scene is present in Northwest Arkansas,
Right.
until you go to like a Groundways or like you see some of the shows that are, you know, being put on. And then now it's even more like now we're getting like bigger names, and like, you know, we just had the Roots, I think.
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang is coming, and like, you know, JJ's Lives, they've been doing a bunch of like bringing in like a bunch of big people, like Nelly I think came, Ludacris, all those folks. And so it's been good to see like the hip hop scene build and that like trickle down to like local artists and like build that scene as well. I feel like, you know, I think on the same lines as you, like I'd much rather like be a part of something like that and build something. But also like in building that, like I feel like there comes like some difficulty in that. Like it's like the like hard toil of like, you almost have to like train people how to receive the hip hop, you know what I mean? Because they're like, all right, do I dance? Do I clap? You know, what do I do? And so I don't know, how has that been for you? Like, how do you feel like it's been like a struggle to sort of like continue to introduce hip hop to the area? And that's like, you know, when you think of Arkansas, you think of one kind of genre, like you may think of country or folk or singer-songwriter. And so
I think it's harder, but like I think that's more so like the essence of hip hop too. It's like you build it out of nothing, and you kind of make it from, you just start with doing it in the backyard. Start with doing it with your friends, and then, you know, as you keep going and building it, more people will respect it. And I feel like we just have to like to put it on more. We just have to do our best. Like, you know, like the hip hop that I do isn't necessarily like rapping about violence or, you know, like drugs and alcohol. You know, like it's more so like they said, poetry. And I think we can make a hip hop scene here that's more positive. And I think we can do some really important things if we just like keep the community together like it's been going. And I think it's like no limit on what we can do and how far we can take it. And I think like it's so cultural here. Like you would think it's like one kind of community here, but there's so many people. Like there's so many people from everywhere that are here. It's like a melting pot. And you wouldn't really notice that till you come. Yeah. But I think that's why it's like a great opportunity to do music here. Because, I mean, everybody loves music and everybody loves to have a good time. So we just got to keep pushing it in the right direction.
And everybody loves food.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm curious too, like, for you, do you feel like, because I think it's kind of a similar lane, like when you think of like Arkansas, you don't necessarily think Filipino, like they have good Filipino food.
Yeah, why in Arkansas? Yeah. There's Filipino. Yeah.
Exactly. And so like there's like a little bit of you like having to like, do you feel like you're having to like be like, yo, this is good, try this?
Yes.
And then what has that been like for you? Like, has it been easy? Has it been difficult? What have some of those conversations been like with people and like getting yourself out there and like, you know,
I mean, it's easy for me because I know my food is good. Yeah, like try this out. Like I know you're gonna like it. So yeah, and then they'll come back. Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's true. A lot of, literally, that's what everyone says. Everyone's like, this place is so good, and it was really good.
Do you have vegan options?
Vegan.
Or like, do you have meatless options?
Yeah, like but the fried rice I can make it without the meat, or the pancit, the noodles with no meat.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy y'all were able to do this, that we were able to get this in. Thank y'all for tuning in to the lunch hour. Again, I'm Jasper Logan. This is Curtis III and Marietta from It's a Wrap, and we will see y'all next time.